Good evening. This is the Town Hall meeting of the San Benito CISD Board of Trustees. It is Tuesday, September 25th. I call this meeting to order at exactly 6:32 p.m. Mr. Mendez, Ms. Garcia, Ms. Weaver,
Present.
Ms. Silva,
Present.
Mr. Lopez,
Present.
Mr. Rosas,
Present.
Dr. Carmen,
Present.
and Mr. Torres. First agenda item is a presentation on the bond election for 2018 by Dr. Nate Carmen. So I'll switch it over to Dr. Carmen.
Thank you, sir. All right, I'm just going to run through the major projects, the cost of the projects, and the impact on the tax rate from this proposed bond election. And on the opposite side of the stage here, Dr. Pena will translate for me as I get places to where I can pause.
Buenas tardes. Estaremos hablando en español, explicando en español todo lo que el superintendente de la escuela estará presentando. Después de cada presentación, estaremos explicando lo mismo en español.
I was just testing to make sure Dr. Pena was paying attention. All right, the Board of Trustees back in August called for a bond election in the amount of $40 million to be voted on at the general election date, November the 6th, 2018, with early voting to start October 22nd, 2018. The amount, again, $40 million. We worked backwards into that number based on a number of projects district-wide. Then we had input from a bond committee, some of whom are here this evening, to decide on the final projects that would be proposed. And we worked backwards so that we could calculate the amount of money available based on paying off a bond this year without having to raise the tax rate. So if approved, the tax rate would remain at the $1.30.49 per $100 valuation.
La elección de bonos será el martes 6 de noviembre de 2018. Una elección de bonos escolares es una emisión de bonos realizada por un distrito escolar público, generalmente para financiar un edificio o proyecto u otro proyecto de capital. Se estima que la propuesta de elección de bonos costará aproximadamente 40 millones. Los contribuyentes no experimentarán un aumento en los impuestos debido a que el distrito pagará un bono este año. La tasa de impuestos permanecerá en $1.30 por cada $100 de evaluación. Nada más recalcar que no habrá aumento de impuestos.
So included in the proposition for the $40 million, the three major projects that are being considered here are a performing arts center, a multi-purpose indoor facility, and an aquatic center. The approximate cost to build those three projects are on the screen there. These are estimates, $30 or so million for the performing arts center, around $4 million for an indoor facility, and in the neighborhood of $5 or $5.5 million for an aquatic center.
Los proyectos a considerar son el Centro de Artes Escénicas, Instalación Deportiva Multiuso y Centro Acuático. El costo aproximadamente del Centro de Artes Escénicas será de 30 millones. Las instalaciones deportivas de 3.5 a 4 millones. Y el centro acuático de 5 a 5.5 millones.
So just a little bit more in depth on each of these three items that we're looking at in this bond proposal. The Performing Arts Center, we would have to showcase a lot of the great and wonderful fine arts as demonstrated this evening within our district. We would also be able to host events. We would have a state-of-the-art stage with lighting and sound so that we could host plays, musicals, we could host one-act play. We will do our best to make an auditorium large enough so that we can also have our, for the school district, our convocation and our end-of-year celebration. So the goal for seating is 1,800 seats. Some of that will depend on the design, should this be approved, but that is a goal that we will work toward should this bond be approved.
Un centro de artes escénicas crea oportunidades sinérgicas entre los extraordinarios programas de arte de las escuelas de San Benito y la comunidad en general para entrar y utilizar las instalaciones escolares. Le da a las artes una avenida conducente para producir actuaciones notables, desde orquesta y guitarra clásica hasta teatro y flamenco. Esta instalación acomodará a todos, además de ser un lugar de reunión para el personal del distrito.
The second facility that is being considered as part of this bond proposal is a multi-purpose indoor facility. The indoor facility would have a large turf room, if approved, 50 to 60 yards in length, probably. The width would be probably in the area of 55 yards, so that you could accommodate football, you could accommodate soccer. During the spring, we could accommodate our softball teams, our baseball teams with some turf room. Our marching band would be able to march inside of here. Our drill team could practice inside of here. Our cheerleading, any outdoor event that we have currently that participates on turf would have the advantage during inclement weather to be able to use an indoor facility. We would also, if approved, put a new weight room on the end of the turf room as part of this indoor facility. If you have high school students, you likely know that our weight room is pretty congested right now as we get more and more athletes in there using it, which is a good thing. But if this bond were to pass, we would add on a weight room onto the end of this building to accommodate for our increase in numbers as well.
Instalación deportiva multiuso. Para un atleta, el mayor atractivo de una instalación cubierta es la calidad de la superficie de juego y el ambiente. Los atletas no estarán sujetos a superficies de juego irregular ni a condiciones meteorológicas extremas que puedan impactar su juego en el caso de que jueguen al aire libre. Una instalación interior de alta calidad es totalmente más atractiva para los atletas que los complejos al aire libre, especialmente en los deportes juveniles y de preparatoria. Todos los atletas quieren sentirse como profesionales. Nada hace que un atleta se sienta como un profesional más que jugar en el interior en césped artificial. Además, si se aprueba el bono, estaremos poniendo también el gimnasio de pesas para los estudiantes.
And then the third facility that would be considered as part of this bond proposal would be an aquatic center. For us, school district, we would be looking at a pool large enough to be able to have competitive swimming meets in, as well as a diving well, so that we could have a high school diving team as well. Important to our community members on the bond committee, as well as our board, and most people that we sought input from, is that we include this in the curriculum for some of our elementary students. So if approved, we would add in water safety and swimming lessons into the PE curriculum for our second graders. And just based on the number of students we could take at one time, they might get a 6 to 12 week course in the pool on water safety and some basic swimming lessons for them as well. For the school perspective, that would be our major initiative, the elementary curriculum for second graders and then high school diving and swimming team. However, there have been initial discussions, and should the city be wanting and willing to enter into an agreement to offset maintenance costs, I think our board would be open to those discussions going forward if the bond were to be approved.
Centro acuático, una piscina interior ofrece oportunidades deportivas que se pueden disfrutar durante todo el año sin preocupación por las condiciones climáticas adversas. Además de las clases regulares de educación física, los estudiantes pueden disfrutar de actividades extracurriculares como natación competitiva y waterpolo. Una piscina cubierta en la escuela ofrece una alternativa de bajo impacto a los estudiantes que pueden tener problemas de salud y no pueden participar en carreras u otras actividades al aire libre.
So I want to talk a little bit about the process of how we got to where we are. We had some initial conversations with the board regarding renovations within our district, regarding some repairs that need to be done, and then some additional new facilities to be considered. In our Superintendent's Advisory Committee, we sought input from employees and community and business members. And then we had a bond committee appointed of community members, and there were 14 initially. Not all could attend the meetings, but they helped kind of whittle down this large list after they listened to our financial advisor and kind of how much money would be available without raising taxes, and made the recommendation for these three facilities to our school board, who ultimately then in August did call for this bond election.
El proceso para bonos consiste del comité de bonos, los miembros de la junta directiva, quienes designaron un comité de bonos responsable de recomendar proyectos para proponer proyectos, y los miembros luego votaron para convocar la elección de bonos.
Do want to point out the election day, November the 6th, 2018, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., as well as early voting starting October 22nd. Here are some locations, dates and times that they are available. I'm not going to read these out to you. All of these are posted on our website under the bond link, as is this entire presentation. But just so that you're all aware, since this is a general election, you could vote in Harlingen, and if you are a San Benito resident, you live within San Benito CISD, you could still ask for a ballot if you wanted to vote for or against the proposed bond.
La elección será el día 6 de noviembre, de 7 de la mañana a 7 de la tarde. Las ubicaciones de votación temprana serán las escuelas de Riverside Middle School, San Benito High School y San Benito Community Building. Los lugares de votación el día de la elección son los que están en la pantalla.
All right, and at this time, I'm going to ask our financial advisor, Mr. Dusty Traylor, to go over some numbers with you regarding our current bond indebtedness, the bond we're paying off, tax rate, the impact of passing this bond, etc. Very exciting stuff. Thank you, Mr. Traylor.
Mr. Traylor, can you do us a favor and just introduce yourself to the community? Obviously, don't know exactly who you are. Obviously, you're going to go into the details, but also other bonds you've worked with us on as a school district.
Certainly.
Historically.
Mr. Vargas, thank you very much. Again, for the record, my name is Dusty Traylor. I'm a managing director with RBC Capital Markets. Our firm has had the honor and privilege of working with the San Benito CISD as financial advisor, going back all the way to the 2004 bonds. So all of the bonds that the district has done since 2004, we have worked as the district's advisor for new facilities where you've done, and also as your advisor when you've refinanced a number of your bonds. So as we get started and talk about bond capacity, I think it's always important to look at a district's bond portfolio. And so we show that here on page number 1 in this presentation. What you see in this presentation is just simply the bond portfolio, the voted bonds of the school district. Currently, the district has approximately $65.7 million of outstanding par value of bonds. And down below, what we do is we show the annual debt service payments for the district's current outstanding bonds. The district's current annual debt service payment is $8 million per year, and that is expected to fall off beginning in 2019 to right at $6 million per year. And so that's really what drives this capacity to be able to look at doing a new bond and propose to do it without a tax rate increase. Is effectively, we have a bond paying off. It's actually the series Unlimited Tax Refunding Bond, Series 2010. If we were to look back in history and what that bond funded, I believe it funded bonds that were originally issued in 2000 or in 1996. But it's that annual payment going from $8 million per year down to $6 million per year that gives us capacity to look at doing a new bond. This slide here just provides data on the school district's historical tax base, as well as the school district's tax rates going back over the course of the past 10 years. And the data that I'll point out here is on the far right column as you look at it. The total tax rate of the school district from now going all the way back to fiscal year 2009 has maintained the same tax rate at $1.30.49. And as proposed with this bond, there is no anticipated tax rate increase. And this slide here just sort of gets into the, it just shows graphically what we would be trying to maintain doing. Going out and issuing $40 million and basically trying to maintain that $8 million per year in annual debt service payments, actually through about 2024, 2025, and then it actually drops a little bit at that point down to about $7.1 million. But again, when we looked at doing a bond for the school district with no tax rate impact, we worked to see what the capacity would be for the district within that $2 million delta, where the old payments were reducing from $8 million down to $6 million and what could be fit in there. So that's the driving factor in that. And that's just a disclaimer I have to put in everything. So that really concludes my presentation on bond capacity. It just simply gets to the fact the district has old bonds paying off, and it gives you the capacity to do these projects without impacting the rate.
Great, thank you, Mr. Traylor, and thank you, Dr. Carmen. Before we move on to field any questions or concerns or whatever, allow the board the opportunity to speak. Each board member, if you'd like. But just for me in general, this is an exciting opportunity for us as a district. Though I think I said it in the last board meeting, but it's not only a great opportunity for us, a unique opportunity where we will not raise taxes in order to get these three projects going. But also, if you think about it, when we're talking about community-wide, it's going to be good for the city of San Benito in terms of economic development and a more aggregate scale. So if you're thinking, let me backtrack, I'm looking at the attorney. But just a very unique opportunity for us, and it's really exciting, and just want to thank the bond committee for their time and for really getting together, putting your minds together, and giving us this opportunity. So thank you.
Okay, thanks, Michael. Appreciate that. As far as my perspective on the on the whole process, since we got elected, one thing that we've always pursued is to pursue for our district to be the gold standard, and I think we've accomplished a lot of great things in a short period of time. This is a great opportunity for the board to to have our community evaluate and pretty much make a decision whether these facilities is something that they want their kids to partake in. And it's really exciting. I think it'll increase our numbers. We've already increased our numbers this year. I think our district's headed in a fantastic direction, and I think these facilities will be fantastic. Thank you.
I just want to say that I feel that's a great idea. It's like Orlando says, we might be able to even attract more people into our town, our little town. And we're behind on time. We're behind on a lot of things in San Benito. I think this is going to be great for San Benito. I feel that, one day we might just have an Olympian in our school. And this is the opportunity that we need for all kids to enjoy. This is for the kids, nothing for us, it's for them. So I want to be proud, and I am proud of the kids right now, but I feel that this needs to be done now before it's too late. We don't want other parents taking their kids to another school district. We want them here, we need them here. So let's offer them what they want, what they need. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sonia Weaver, and I just wanted to say, just today, I went to this business, and some parents were there, and, you know, we started talking about the bond issue and everything, and the facilities that we're wanting to build for our students, for our kids, their children. And right away, one of the parents told me, well, if it does pass, our taxes are gonna go up. I said, I'm sorry, that's why we're inviting you, you know, parents to go to the town halls, to the meetings, so y'all can see it for yourself that the taxes are not gonna go up. The properties are the ones, but we have no control. That's by, you know, the county taxes. I mean, they're the ones that you know, that up the taxes, but not for the school, not the school taxes. So that's why, you know, we want everybody to please, you know, get people informed and let them know that the taxes will not go up. Thank you.
Hello. I just want to add to it that when we started doing this, you know, they talked about the multi-purpose building, and I said, well, back when I was a band booster, we used to pay McAllen to take the band out there for a week, so practice overnight for the pigskin. He said, what other than have our own and let people pay to come and play here and practice, and we get it for free. So it's a great opportunity for all of us. Thank you.
Sorry about that. Just for clarification, the board is officially not taking a stance on it. You're obviously not encouraged to vote yes or no. You will make that decision on your own when the time comes, but it is not our responsibility as the board to tell you how to vote on this bond election. So thank you. Now we can move on to the audience participation. If you have any questions, concerns, we'll obviously do our best. We obviously have the experts in the room, including Mr. Traylor and Dr. Carmen, who's been working on this with the bond committee and whatnot. So if there are any clarification questions, concerns, etc., please feel free to come up to the mics. And there are 2 mics to my left and to my right if you'd like to come up and say a few words. Oh, also, if you don't have an opportunity or if you're a little shy, I believe we have forms that you can fill out, questions that you can fill out. Mr. Garcia or Ms. Longoria, the forms are located right in the back where it says bond, those 2 white boxes. So again, if you're shy and have any other questions, actually after the meeting, you can take those forms home and submit them to the district at a later time. But Mr. Aguilera.
All right. This is great. Not denying that, okay? But let me correct you, Janie. We already have an Olympian. An Olympian, we already had one. But no, I'm just saying we already had one. Okay, so yeah, more the merrier, that's fine. But here's my question. Where's the advisor? This is a loan, correct? Okay. What is the interest rate?
It's okay. Too close to the mic.
I heard that.
Oh my, how about here? The interest rate that we use in running our analysis is more or less a little over 4%. That's about 75 basis points or 0.75% over where current market rates would be. We use a slightly higher interest rate in our analysis just for estimation purposes because the district's not going to be selling bonds tonight. They'd be selling bonds sometime after the first of the year likely, and bond market conditions could change, and we just don't want to get caught flat-footed. So we do use a conservative estimate for interest rates.
I'm going to try to keep it simple, okay? I went today to a bank asked them for $40 million at 3%. Okay? $13 million is the interest. Okay, now, how long are you going to do the bond for? How many years?
Our estimate when we ran these calculations was 25 to 30 years.
Okay, then you're going to pay a lot more than $13 million. We are going to pay more than $13 million. Okay, that's just keeping it simple. Okay, and I understand all of that, but people need to know what we're going to be paying in interest. Okay, and that's just one of my concerns now, that the building, like they told me today, graduation, we have a problem, we have somewhere to go to. Victor, you made a good one. People can come and get the facility, all right? Now, where are we going to build these things?
Might I?
Yes, sir.
Your response about the interest, I do want to clarify, and I thank you for bringing that up. The interest that you refer to, that's built into the calculations
Correct.
that we ran for the district as well. And also in terms of the impact as well to the taxpayer. One thing to keep in mind as it relates to San Benito CISD is that TEA, the state of Texas, subsidizes the district's debt service on bonds more or less a little bit over 50% right now in your outstanding bonds. So some of this will actually be paid for, we anticipate, by the TEA as well, okay? So
Anticipate. Correct? All right.
all of the district's outstanding bonds to date have received that assistance. Absolutely, we expect it.
You expect it or anticipate?
We expect it.
Okay.
I was going to ask, in reference to where we're going to build them. We have land, but also in reference to if there is land available, you got to be very reserved or when you say where we're going to buy it, because I'm not a broker, I'm not a real estate. Just like you went to the bank,
Right.
it was awesome. We put it out there. The first thing these brokers are going to do, buy that land, and here the surprise is who pays for us? The people that has paid taxes in here. So very kind of conservative in that purpose, but we do have some land of our.
I know you do, okay. But here's my other question. I was told today that we're gonna build the aquatic center at the old swimming pool at the park.
I think Dr. Carmen can take that.
Okay,
Okay.
So our bond committee made 3 recommendations for locations for the aquatic center to our board. Ultimately, the board will decide, and whether they make it public before we buy the land or not would probably not be good business sense. But we have property in 3 areas that have been discussed publicly. One would be over near Dr. Garza, the expressway there at the water tower. Second, on the high school campus. And the third option, with all that land we have over there at VMA and parking readily available. So none of those 3 recommendations included the park location, and I don't think our board has entertained that seriously to this point.
okay. See, and is the public gonna be able to use the aquatic center?
So that would require the city commission and the board of trustees coming to some type of an agreement. If this bond were to pass and we move forward with building the aquatic center, I think this board has been very open to that discussion, provided the city enters into an agreement where they would pay their portion of the maintenance and upkeep and any staffing if they wanted to open up for extended hours or over the summer, for example.
And I think it's like any other facilities usage, there's a process and procedures in place. If any local or public entity wants to use any of our facilities, there are actual processes and procedures. So these facilities theoretically would not be any different.
Okay, I'll let other people ask some questions, and I'll come back and see you in a minute.
Thank you, Mr. Aguilera.
Yeah, I have a comment as far as the enjoyment of the kids. Actually, we take pride of being a public school. And when you're a public school, what you do is you provide extracurricular activities for our kids to represent us in a very professional manner and give these kids an opportunity to grow into young human adults and human beings. So, by having these extra facilities, and, as you all well know, I mean, we have very successful athletics, band, music, you name it, the whole gamma of our extracurricular activities. A lot of them are very, very successful to begin with. So, and have proven themselves. So this is a great opportunity for our staff, our administration, our kids, our community to see the fruit of their labor, to give them an opportunity to go out there and educate themselves more and give them the opportunities they need, just like every other school has. Thank you.
Do we have any other comments or concerns, questions? And please remember to introduce yourself. Thank you.
My name is Jesse Montemayor. I'm a resident here from La Paloma. I went to La Encantada and also San Benito. First of all, I do want to say that the kids need enjoyment. We have competition in Brownsville. They have an aquatic center. Competition in Harlingen. They have an aquatic center. And we have the South Texas Academy as competition. We need more for our students. So my kudos to you for doing this for the students. It's about time. The only question is what took you so long? But we need it. My other question would be, is there an estimated timeline for the project to begin and an estimated ending time for the project to end?
So I can give some rough estimates.
Okay.
We talked earlier about location. So we have not formally done yet any civil engineering, any soil samples yet to determine the locations that have been discussed. So we're making some assumptions that some of the land we have could be usable for these structures. Some things you can do a design build on, maybe the indoor facility, which would cut down the time from the architectural work on the front end, and from the time you sell bonds, you could be looking 12 months for that structure to be opened up. The auditorium, the Fine Arts Center, and the Aquatic Center, you're probably looking closer to 2 years. There's some intricate work that has to be done, and even on the front end, the architectural, while we're doing the civil engineering and the site survey, the architectural work on the front end is pretty time intensive, so you're probably looking about 2 years to completion.
Okay, well, thank you very much. And again, thank you for thinking of the kids.
Well, thank you. And I know you asked facetiously what took us so long, but just I want to remind individuals that only, 4 years ago we were close to bankruptcy. We had a very unhealthy fund balance, and you remember the rift we had to do with our staff and when Dr. Puig was here. But I'm just happy to say now that we have stable leadership in the district, both administratively and on the board. And so now we're able to have these tough decisions and tough conversations about how to move the district forward in a way that we are currently, hopefully, with this bond. Hello?
Hello, my name is Michael Salinas. I'm a fairly new resident in San Benito. I've
Hello.
lived here with my parents, but I moved out into my own place. I think it's important that, I know you guys are saying it's entertainment for these 3 buildings, but I think it's more important to hit on the aspect of it's creating more well-rounded individuals. I mean, we're the aquatic center, the children are gonna be learning how to swim. I didn't have that when I was growing up. I'm fairly young, so it wasn't that long ago. Again, I work in Harlingen, so I've been first-handed as far as the musicals. There's actually it's very helpful to the kids because they get to see an aspect of themselves that they never knew. They get to see a talent that could have gone unnoticed in previous years, and they're getting to explore that side of themselves. So I want to commend you guys on that part. But again, I think it's important that we take this as an initiative and start not just helping them, but also our seniors and juniors, because I remember I'm a chess coach. I apologize, I should have mentioned that earlier. I'm a chess coach and for San Benito, and I would speak to some of the individuals that are seniors and juniors, and I asked them, hey, do you know how to change a tire? Do you know how to do your taxes? Do you know how to do this and that? Do you know how to be a functioning adult? So I think it's important that we see this as an initiative, but also take steps into preparing them for adulthood. Yes, we're preparing for college, and you guys are taking measures to do that, and I applaud you for that. but I don't think we're taking the right steps to prepare them for adulthood. And I mean, from when I graduated, I didn't know how to change a tire. I didn't know how to do taxes. And I think if there was classes that were taught that, I guess kind of like a life skills class. I know obviously you can't hit every issue, but I mean, if there's a class there that could help these kids, you know, change a tire, balance a checkbook, and such, and manage finances. I mean, I think that's the biggest one, right? Managing finances. So if we could offer classes like that, that'd be perfect.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Selnes. Hello, Mr. Aguilera.
Okay, so I don't have to introduce myself. You just said we had about $40 million in surplus? Or?
Once we
is that-
finish our audit, we'll know for sure, but I think we went in with about 29 and change.
29,
I feel
okay.
comfortable we'll have 37 plus.
Well, let's say 29, okay. So why can't we use 20 from there and borrow 20 from this gentleman? All right?
I don't think it's his personal money, but.
Well, I understand, but he's representing the company. Why can't we do that? So that just knocks our interest rate to what? Less than 8 million? I'd rather pay 8 million than 13, 16 million. Just saying. So what do you think? Could it be done?
Mr. Aguilar, can I answer that for you?
Yes, sir. Okay, then I don't.
We certainly could, certainly could do that.
Okay.
But again, we had a huge list of renovations and repair. We have $3 million in roof repair that we believe we have to do on our buildings.
Correct.
We have some renovation at a 40-year-old high school that we started this past summer. And so we have a whole list of items that, in my opinion, have been neglected for years.
Correct.
And that we are addressing from our fund balance, sir.
Okay. But see, if you saved all that millions, I'm just saying. Number two, you did say there's going to be a weight room, maybe at the end of the, whatever, the complex, whatever, right? Now, are we going to have one for the boys and one for the girls? Because the way I hear it, the girls can't use the one in the sports complex. So are we going to have one and one?
No, sir, we would have this one new weight room, and it would be open to both boys and to girls.
So it's going to be a co-ed?
It would be used different periods.
Correct.
But yes, sir, yes, girls will be in
Okay.
their one period, varsity girls, varsity boys a different period. Yes, sir, available to both genders.
Okay. So the people that came and talked to me today were incorrect that they were going to build the swimming pool or the aquatic center at the, by the old swimming pool, correct?
Again, ultimately, this board will decide on the location if the bond passes, but I can tell you of 3 areas located, that is not one of the 3 that's been discussed.
Okay. Okay. Maybe I won't come back, but I'll see you in October.
Anybody else? Going once. All right. Well, I want to thank especially those who did come up to the mic and ask questions or give concerns, give other ideas, and even offer some thoughts of support and against the bond. They were well received by the board. But I'll just reiterate before we adjourn that, again, it is a unique opportunity for us, and you have till November 6th to decide on whether you want this for the community and for the school district. So can I have a motion to adjourn? Motion by Ms. Weaver. Do I have a second? Second by Mrs. Silva. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. We adjourn at exactly 7:29 p.m.